talking about hookers right off the bat this morning. So, okay, we're up.
Time and make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles make me warm all over. Well, a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time.
On the Hawaiian Islands, a group of American sugar planters under Sanford Ballard Dole. That name sound familiar? Dole.
Dole pineapple.
Overthrow Queen Leleakalani, the I don't know how to pronounce that, the Hawaiian monarch, and establish a new provincial government with Dole as president. The coup occurred with the foreknowledge of John L. Stevens, the U.S. Minister to Hawaii, and 300 U.S. Marines from the U.S. cruiser Boston called to Hawaii supposedly to protect American lives there during the coup. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
It happened on this day.
And do you know that my real name, which we will not mention, is Hawaiian? And how that happened, I don't know.
Deahula Walla Hala.
It's close.
And
I'm like, I don't know how that
still
came.
trying to figure out my clue for the song this morning before we
Oh, well, pineapple,
went on the air, aren't you?
tiny bubbles.
Yeah, because you said hookers.
Yeah. Who sang the song? Who's famous for that song? Whose song is that?
Does it sound like Frankie?
Oh, no. Come
No,
on. It's an Hawaiian dude.
Who's
it's
the
Hawaiian
guy?
dude.
Oh,
I can see it in my
Yeah,
head.
same. Oh, hold it.
Dark hair,
Don
like
Ho.
that kind of.
Who?
Don Ho.
Now do you get the clue?
Don.
Ho and Hooker?
Yeah.
You're unreal. Y'all, we've had a time with Rayford this morning
Oh,
already.
I know.
Y'all just don't know what's in
Negativity.
store for today. I don't know what he ate this morning or didn't eat, but
Anyway, well, it's
He
all
missed
good.
his egg this morning.
No, I
you
didn't.
get
I
your
had
egg?
my eggs.
I didn't. I thought it was a cookie.
he needs a
That
cookie.
white two halves of a boiled egg looked like a cookie.
Well, I don't know. I had cookie
you had a boiled
yesterday.
Don't tell me I'm having issues.
You had a boiled egg?
I do have one every
He
morning.
has one every
Just the white
morning.
part.
Okay.
But for some reason, I thought it was a cookie in that napkin. I thought you were trying to sneak one
Don't
in.
tell me I've got the issue this
Oh,
morning.
what's happening over here? Yeah.
It might be contagious. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I think we've said it already. I'm Kelly
No, I
Knapp. I'll
didn't.
say it again. I thought we did.
Once again, I'm Lee Barrows.
See,
There
I
we
missed
go.
it the first time around. If that's the case,
I thought we said it.
We did.
we'll go
Okay.
back at 9 o'clock and I'll replay it and find out.
Oh,
I don't
thank
know, maybe we
goodness
did.
it is Friday, TGIF.
Yeah. Well, get ready for the weekend, y'all.
This weekend I'm getting ready for the cold next
Yeah, go
week.
ahead
I
and-
think I have everything ready, but
Yeah, and
I got to check my propane.
now you're getting mean, aren't you?
No, really. Oh, guess who ran out of gas this morning, Kelly?
You did?
No.
Rayford? Hey, well, run out of gas. Hadn't gone anywhere.
No, we're talking propane. Boy, she needs a cookie.
I'm over here reading something about
I'm the only
fight.
sane person in here this morning. I've come to that conclusion, and that should be scary to all of you.
Who
Could
ran
be.
out of propane? You?
No. Who uses it to gas to cook?
Rayford, but he's got like 52 tanks back
You
there.
would think.
Like, you ran, really?
Really?
Mr.
Mr.
Always be
Prepared?
prepared,
Yeah.
and I have gas, and I have
There's no
wood.
way you ran out. There has to be a faulty
Well,
line or something.
I don't call them. They come automatically, and they came automatically back in October.
Uh-huh.
And since I filled up in January last year,
Yeah.
and they came and said, "You got 50%."
So when they came in October, they didn't top you off.
Right, I said,
gotcha.
you don't have to now. You can come back.
I wouldn't have done it, but I hear you.
What
I mean,
have you been
I would-
doing to
I would
use?
come back right after Christmas if I was in
He's
your
been
shoes.
cooking, according
Over
to him.
Christmas, you think about it. I cooked that.
Maybe
prime
you
rib
should
for
have
how long?
told him when he came in October, go ahead and top it off. Just saying. You knew you were going to be doing all that cooking.
Poor
Oh,
Rayford.
Lord
Y'all
mercy.
just feel bad
Anyway,
for him today.
my man Jeff is already on the. It will be there before we're off the air.
Good
Let's just
people.
put it that way.
So then you
Good
could cook.
people.
These are my yeah.
These are
Well,
my
cool.
people.
They are my people. Well, you got to have good people out there, right?
No, but you know what, Rayford?
It was my fault. I said, yeah, no need to do it now. Then that's
It's
fine.
good to know today.
But I bet
then
you
find
learned a
out the
lesson.
next week it happened when that cold air is coming in and hanging around for hours. So
I'd be chopping other people's trees down.
so
Thanks, George
actually,
Washington.
it was a good thing that you ran out today.
So
There you go.
jeez. Yeah, I got an emergency
Oh,
stash just in
Lord
case, but
help
I
us.
can go hook it up if I need to. And I'm going to go ahead and go hook it up, but not for this occasion. I'm just going to have an extra bottle stashed out there, and it will be connected, but it will be turned off.
Did you get visited by our favorite wood guy yesterday?
No, not yet. He's coming probably today. He called me. We talked.
Very nice. Yes.
Yeah. And we got a couple of things to talk about, and I might have another little bit of good news.
Okay,
So
go with it.
we'll let you know about that probably the first of the week. What's going on in the world besides all the hate and discontent up there inside the swamp?
A lot of it in
God, what
D.C.
is
right now.
wrong with those people?
Good Lord.
Y'all need to get lives.
Hakeem, we're gonna work together. We're gonna do what's right for the country. We're going to, break bread. And all I've seen this past week at the congressional hearings is
We hate you.
we hate
too.
you.
We hate you because you like somebody else, and we don't even like him. So we
you
hate
did
you.
this. Are you going to if President Trump asks you to do this or that, are you going to tell him no?
Did you
Are
just hear
gonna
what
tell
you
him-
asked?
Yes.
What did you start that sentence with?
If
Yeah. You need to tell them the same thing I tell you. That is the biggest word in the dictionary, and it means nothing without facts.
you're going to need to
Speculation.
just put that word away for today.
No,
It's
they
Friday.
need to let me have a chat with some of those people. Should you, or if you are come upon this, if you do that, well, if a star falls out of the sky and hits you in the head, what you going to do?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a young kids softball team, and not the kids arguing, but the parents arguing and arguing with the ref, and just so much dismay, so much delirium.
We're going to get naked, right?
Are you hot?
You hot?
Do I need to get up
Are
and
y'all
turn
not
off?
hot?
No, but we usually are. But
Well,
no,
why
but
don't you just
go
turn
ahead.
it down low?
Let's turn it down on low for a minute.
77 degrees in here.
I feel good.
I think it feels good too. My hands are cold. But we don't want to sweat you out, Rayford. We're having a hot flash.
No, okay, whatever. Jacksonville police have arrested a man and a woman following a fire in the city earlier this week. Tuesday night, a fire was reported at a home at 105 Arlington Court. When firefighters entered the burning structure, they found 28-year-old Torrance Michael Thomas of Sneeze Ferry inside. He was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead. I don't know what his condition was at the scene other than he needed medical attention. The investigation into the cause of the fire and other circumstances is continuing. We tell you what the facts are, what we know. Two people, 29-year-old Anthony Daniel Dasha McKinney and 27-year-old Kennedy Shamika Rowe, were arrested. They're in jail. They can't get out. No bond. Charged with arson and conspiracy. I don't know what conspiracy to do what is, but conspiracy. Additional details will be released as the investigation continues. Kennedy's Department of Corrections record includes drug possession, larceny, shooting into an occupied building, assault on a female, and DWI and some other minor stuff. Rowe's history includes forgery and larceny. Oh, yeah, and drugs. Thomas, the victim in this case, has a lengthy criminal record ranging from numerous drug charges, stealing cars, firearms violations, burglary, and you name it.
Sounds like a real winner.
We just, speculation is all over the place out there, but it really doesn't matter, not until the investigation has moved forward enough for if there are going to be additional charges to be brought. But they got to have evidence. And the mess in Washington. I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, real quick, speaking on fires, the death toll in LA is up to 27 now. 27.
Maybe higher than that by now.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
not sure.
Well, this morning they said 27, but it will be higher. We know that already. They're finding remains here
our
and there.
amateur radio network last night, we do training over the air every Thursday night.
I've got something tomorrow night, don't I? Tomorrow.
No.
You told me the 18th there was some kind of Zoom or some kind of class or something. Go ahead.
I don't know. I gave you whatever information I had. Whatever. Anyway, the over the air last night, we talked about the fires in California and our and what folks are doing, what the amateur radio operators are doing there. A lot of the communications towers are up on that hill where things have burned down.
Yes.
And they've disrupted again communications.
Oh, wow.
When you put all of your eggs in one basket, and the basket falls down and goes boom,
Right.
you ain't got no more eggs.
Right.
They're all cracked and runny. So places like here in Onslow County, we rely, the amateurs, the ham radio guys, they rely on things like repeaters. That means signal comes in and it's repeated and goes out again, right?
Yes.
To a bigger area. There's a repeater at the EOC at about 400-foot level. There's a repeater on top of Onslow Memorial Hospital, which is, I forgot how many stories tall. There are actually 3 repeaters on the other tower. There are repeaters in Swansboro. There's a repeater in Richlands. There are repeaters in, believe it or not, in Chocowinity area that can be hit from here. There are repeaters in Hampstead that we can hit from here. There's backups, in other words. Something happens to one, there are others that we can go to.
Right.
And then if all else fails, we can do something called simplex. We just talk direct from one radio to another, and we can relay it all over the county or all over the country as necessary.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a lot of places don't do things like that, and a lot of the professionals, the law enforcement, the fires, and all the emergency personnel, like they did at the World Trade Center, they put all their stock and putting all their equipment at the tallest place they could find. That was the World Trade Centers, and guess what came tumbling down?
Right.
Guess what? They could not communicate on. No law enforcement could talk to each other.
So in relation to LA, what are you saying?
Yeah, well, that's just what we were.
Everything was on the top
about.
of the mountain.
Yeah, pretty much, and the mountain burned. Stuff up there burned. So what they're telling people are to make sure you have backup plans as well.
Well, the good news for that area right now is for the next, my headphones keep going in and out. For the next 4 or 5 days, they don't expect any bad winds, and they said that they feel like they can get a lot lot during that time. But towards the end of next week, the Santa Ana winds are coming back in.
Yeah. Little history too around here. Back in 1971, which I explored last night for the net, and you can see the headlines posted over there from a Daily News article on my computer over there.
Oh!
It's an article from the 76, I think it was, a big fire in Hoffman Forest, burned about 3,500 acres, and then mentioned in this article was a fire that occurred at Hoffman Forest in 1971, one that I covered. Burned 18,000 acres. And that particular fire started off Gum Branch Road. Don't recall who started it, but it started off Gum Branch Road. Hoffman Forest was leased at the time. I think it's still leased by another one, but a paper company.
Weyerhaeuser?
I don't know.
Maybe.
It wasn't Weyerhaeuser then. I don't know what it was. But anyway, it was leased to a paper company, and the paper company have their own plows and firefighters and all that sort of good stuff too. And unfortunately, one of their guys was working a tractor. They do fire breaks and whatever, right? In a woods fire. And he was out there working in the woods, and they're working towards the flames. The flames are burning the other direction until the winds turn. And that's one of the big things. They have forecasters predicting when they're going to happen. The Forest Service does. It's not the Forestry Service, by the way. It's the North Carolina Forest Service. They have their own meteorologists that do nothing but take a look at winds and dry conditions and stuff. And he did not get out. Flames turned and came over him and killed him, sitting on his tractor.
How horrible.
Anyway,
Horrible.
Those are the kinds of things that can happen in a fast-moving, wind-driven forest fire. And Santa Ana winds, they whip around. They're constantly changing
Right.
because they're stuck in those valleys and the hills and everything else. And so it's awful out there. 27 confirmed so far. No telling how many more they're going to find. They brought in cadaver dogs. People would not leave home.
Right.
They had 180,000 had evacuated as of earlier this week, I think it was.
Yes.
180,000. We got 225,000 in
No.
Oslo County altogether.
It'd be our whole county.
So our entire county evacuated
Yes.
in LA because of a fire.
I couldn't imagine.
Just think about it. Where did they go?
Yeah, I knew adaptable to hurricanes
Yeah.
living on the East
Yeah.
Coast, but generally our weather right here is good weather. I mean, we don't have to worry about earthquakes. Not that it couldn't happen, but I mean,
Tell that to Charleston.
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Not that it couldn't happen, but generally, as a rule, we just have mild weather most of the year, except for summer. It gets really hot. We're going to go through a real deep cold spell next week, but
Yeah,
other than that, we don't generally have to suffer what some of these other areas are suffering.
people screaming about climate change and how hotter and hotter and hotter. Back in the 70s and 80s, I don't remember in the 90s, but we routinely during the summertime, we would hit 100, 102. This is not heat index. This is real thermometer readings.
Yes.
I've seen some 102 degree temperatures, and they would last day in and day out for 2 or
Right.
3 or 4 days in a row.
Right.
By the same token, as we're going to see this next few days,
Mm.
I've seen some temperatures that never got above freezing for 2 or 3
Let's
days.
talk about, next week they're saying that there could be anywhere from 48 to 72 hours of below freezing
Yep.
temperatures.
Yep.
And this weekend would be a great time for everyone to get out there, check your pipes, wrap your pipes if you need to, crawl underneath that house and wrap them. You might live in a great house and with a crawl space and you've never had to worry about it before. But why not just go do it?
Well, here's another situation with that. Temperatures get down to, we've had them down to as low as 12 degrees here
Yes.
this week, but it warmed up.
Right.
So the water that is standing around in your pipes underneath your house or whatever,
Right.
it did not reach that point that they had
Exactly,
actually
yes.
froze because it warmed up.
Right.
Now, suppose it doesn't warm up for 3 or 4 days
Mhm.
above freezing, and that freezes.
And you lose
and then it
electricity,
gets-
let's just say.
and then it gets worse.
You
And
don't
then it
have
gets
the heat
worse
from the
and worse and
house.
worse. And it can be, that's when the pipes can burst, when that water
Yes.
freezes hard
Yes.
and then begins to expand.
Well, there's a lot of people that have modular homes. Some
Oh,
that
yeah.
still live in mobile homes,
Yeah.
and double wides.
You need to wrap
And
every
so-
pipe underneath that
Oh,
structure.
definitely. And and like your water hoses, take your water hoses off, bring them in the garage.
Or hang them up. What I do is you'll notice one hanging out there.
Mhm.
The faucet end is hanging up high.
Right. Right.
Up, that's the highest point, and anything there drains out the other end.
Yes.
It drains all the way through.
Well, I generally
'Cause
bring
water,
mine in.
water inside a hose
Right.
will
Mhm.
expand, and then you get yourself a new
Yeah.
hose, or
Yeah,
you
I
get 2 of
usually-
them and put a junk.
I
in.
usually bring mine in the garage every winter. I've not done so yet
I hadn't
because
either, I do
on
that.
some of the warmer days that we've had
Mhm.
over the last month or two, I've used them on the outside
Well,
for different
I
projects.
do things like
but-
wash oysters with mine.
yeah, and see, there's always something like I pressure washed the back patio a couple of weeks ago.
And I may do something like set a fire. I need some water
That's right. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, you better have that.
because I've got a turkey I'm going to thaw out here shortly.
'Cause-
Another one.
Oh, really? Are you
I'm
going
gonna
to deep
I'm gonna
fry it?
deep fry me another turkey just
Are we
because.
invited?
When I deep fry it, if it tastes all right, I'll invite you.
What do you mean? Does it taste all
He'll
right?
taste it first.
No,
It's
go
not
ahead.
going to be freezer burn going in the
Oh,
fire raising.
No. This is one of those I bought. I bought 3 of them
Right.
same time.
Very nice. Very nice.
So we're going.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a whirl.
I'll bring a
I've
side dish.
I've never done that after Christmas or Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes.
I just never had done that, but I thought about it this year. Let's do it. It's cheap enough.
You know what? I thought about it too. Why do we always wait for Thanksgiving to cook a turkey or
'Cause they're cheap.
Christmas? Why don't we do it during, like, throughout through the year?
Oh,
I mean,
We'll
that's
talk
probably
for a
the
minute.
gas man. But Kelly, did
Okay.
you get your little things to put on your spigots
I
yet?
did, but well,
They're in
yes
the
and
garage.
no. Well, yeah, and I lost one of them, so I'll have to find that. Yeah,
Well, when you go into the one store that,
Yeah.
the big
Well, I
box
got
store,
about- yeah.
just go straight in and kind of go to your left where all the cleaning
And
supplies
they're
are
right
on
there.
and just right in that aisle next. Yeah, they're
I know
right there.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
they had a bunch of them in there the other day. And I thought about picking up a couple just in case, like you or Rayford, somebody needed them, but I didn't do it at the time. I wish I had. Really do wish I had.
Okay, yeah, I need to take, I'm glad you mentioned taking the hoses up. I have not done that yet.
Right.
And something else people need to do is, because it's going to be cold this week,
Right.
set out bird seed for your birds.
Good.
Yeah, I just was sitting here
idea.
thinking a minute ago, I'm out of bird seed. I got to get more.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
We got to feed our bird friends.
That's a good idea. I
Yeah.
need to do that too.
Definitely need to feed our bird
'Cause
friends.
the feeder's been empty. Yeah, that's a good thought.
And
And if you have pets, please bring them in.
Y'all don't
Even
leave
if they're
pets
outdoor
outside.
pets. I don't mean
there's
dogs,
no such thing as
horses.
an outdoor pet. Yeah.
But, a lot of people keep animals out in a shelter in their backyard. They might be for hunting or something. Bring them in.
Oh,
Either
yes.
put some type of heat out there for them.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, gosh. And good news.
Yes, ma'am.
The Adoption First Animal Rescue finally caught the last
I saw
of the
that.
pups
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
good.
been running around. They've caught over almost 50 of them now, I think.
Well,
That were dumped. Yeah.
Yes, that were dumped. That's where I got my little fella from. I wouldn't trade
Yeah.
him for anything.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, my gas people are on the way. So
Yeah, we figured that's who it
kudos to Great
was.
Gas, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, good people, good people. Very good. Do we need to move out of the way or anything? I know
No,
they've
they're
got the
gonna
long
park- They're going to
hoses.
park right there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
High pressure will be with us for a short time today, and that will result in better boating conditions for just a little while. You can expect the return of small craft warnings next week as multiple fronts. Did you get that one? Multiple fronts track across our waters. Oh, glory, glory, glory.
Glory
I am
be.
so looking forward to calm water and warm weather. Yeah. Offshore out to 10 nautical miles today. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 25. Becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, except 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming westerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Sunday, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, becoming westerly 15 to 20. Gust up to 25 knots in the afternoon Sunday. Hope we don't have any fires. We got a lot of dry conditions out there right now.
Do.
Seas 3 to 5 feet. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon. No snow, Kelly. No snow.
Not Sunday. No.
Okay.
Today, sunny, high of 53. Tonight, the clouds will build in, a low of 35. Tomorrow, it's going to rain, high of 55. Tomorrow night, still going to rain, mostly cloudy. In between that rain, low of 43, which isn't a bad low for this time of year. It's still chilly, but not like what it's about to be. Sunday, showers before 1 p.m. Otherwise, after that, it'll be Sunday, believe it or not. It's just like this. The showers bring in, it's going to be 60, almost near 60.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
With the rain lasting till about 1. And then, but Sunday night, the temperatures start to dip. It'll be cloudy, low of 24.
And wet.
Then on Monday, sunny, a high of only 37. And then after that, the temperature starts to plummet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tuesday's high is 32 and Wednesday's is 31 during the day.
Going to be down in the teens again. Single digit.
According to this, Tuesday night 16, Wednesday night 13. I'm sorry, Monday night 15.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be down in the
getting
teens.
very
And then
cold.
wind chill factor is going to put
It's
it
gonna
down
be
single
brutal.
digits.
Yes.
So watch out, y'all.
Yes.
Watch out. Okay, I am really at a loss for words this morning. You wouldn't think so.
Why?
You might think you're listening to the word salad report from some of those shell-shocked members of the Biden administration or the congressional members of Howdy Doodie's Peanut Gallery who actually think they have enough knowledge about issues like war to educate all Americans. And just because that panel is occupied by a bunch of space cadets does not mean they know even one thing about booster rockets. See what I mean? Lots of word salad. I've read, again, the meanderings of the members of the Fourth Estate, and I'm still not sure whether Earth has slipped out of its designated orbit, being drawn to one of those big bad chunks of rock speeding through space on a collision course with a bigger rock to create another Big Bang. I lost y'all, didn't I?
You did with that.
I lost you at the Fourth Estate right up front, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
You have any idea what that is?
What?
The Fourth Estate.
East State?
I've heard
Fourth
this.
Estate.
I've heard
ESTATE.
this, but go
Anyone?
ahead.
No.
I know Chris Marks knows what it is. Generally speaking and generally defined, we refer to the news media as the Fourth Estate.
I didn't know that.
The news media is populated with air-breathing souls who call themselves journalists. Some are. To themselves, they are the elite, and they brag about knowing more about anything than they can tell us. There's not one topic that they haven't studied, they say, and in most cases have been exposed to any topic under the sun. We laugh and cry, those of us who have actually been around and perhaps experienced something like 5% of what the elite members of the Fourth Estate claim to have conquered. We shake our heads and we now understand why the length of lifetime is in reality just a blink of the eye. And we're happy because we doubt that we could maintain our cool when we get around to experiencing the next generation of, wow, gee whiskers, this is cool. What time does the party begin crowd? That's what's brewing right now. That's what they're studying right now. They just want to be on TV. Sometimes it just seems the time is right to ignore more and more people, thinning the number of friends and relatives to hang out with. The days and nights that I can put my TV earbuds in, shutting out the world and watch a limited number of old TV shows that are actually witty and funny, those are the perfect days to me. No doubt I watched the same shows the first time around years ago, but the blessing of age is the fact that I can't remember ever seeing them until the last minute or two of the program today. And they are still as funny as ever. The fact that I may have actually picked up a sense of humor since it aired a quarter of a century ago might have something to do with it. Anyone else have any word salad to offer today? If you got something you'd like to talk about, feel free to do so. After the show, I don't care what the topics are. Just give us a call. Let's chat. Are you watching any of the mess in law? What do you feel? Are you disenchanted with what's going on there?
I'm disenchanted with this lady from Hawaii. Like, how long has she been in?
Why did we even decide to make that a state?
This woman has lost her mind.
For Greenland.
There you go. That's about the best quote of the day.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
who is she?
Vicious
I've never
people.
seen
She's the
anything.
AOC of.
How long has she been in
Hawaii.
Congress?
Too long.
And I guarantee you, if this was a Democratic president coming in, and
she would
these
be
were
all
Democrats,
over
Oh, the media would be losing their
Interview.
mind.
these Democrats that are on these different committees would be a whole different tune. I went back yesterday and rewatched the Pam Bundy and Adam Schiff exchange.
That's the highlight right now.
I give
That is our highlight.
I give that woman medals. And let me tell you something right now. She's my new hero. And it's not because she's a Republican. It's because she, in a very professional way, more or less put him down.
She shut him right. I love her. I never even heard her talk.
If that was him, I would be so ashamed because there's going to be women groups all around claiming discrimination against him for the way he treated her. But he wasn't the only one, but ridiculous.
Yes, he has been
yelling at
I suspect he's acted like this for a long time and just gotten away with it.
Yes, he
Well,
has.
he
Now
got
he's
censored for doing that.
He's been shut down.
He got censored.
That was
for
pointed out too.
Oh, yeah,
And she reminded him. She said. She said, you were censored
We're doing the same
in
thing.
Congress for doing what you're doing to me right now.
Well, that's history. That's
Pew,
all.
mud in the face.
I really didn't mean
Well, I like her.
Oh, I did too.
But that Hirono, I mean, make her stop asking questions because she is awful and disrespectful. Regardless, I mean, because it's almost like they're not, and I'm saying them as in Democrats, especially her and that other lady with the pixie hair.
The pixie.
It's like an elf.
What was that, Gilliband or Gilligan?
Yeah, whatever
or
her name
something?
is. But it's like it doesn't matter to them what any of the issues are. They are attacking, it's almost like it's attacking who they are being nominated by more than just, like this is unbelievable.
Well, I don't know how you feel, but the way I feel about it is, say we had a senator, or we do have a senator, North Carolina Senator Tillis, but if he'd gotten up there and acted the way Adam Schiff did, I'd be ashamed.
I'd be calling him, giving him.
They all ought to be embarrassed they ought to go back and watch how they're acting, but they're not, because I think some of them get up there and they get so big for the britches they think they're untouchable, and I think that's part of the problem.
We push you in there to represent us, not to go in there and act like a child and act like a heathen.
And you would think they would have learned something by the way this election shaped up.
Oh yeah,
that y'all thought you were going to just cakewalk in the park, and you got schooled by the American public.
Yes.
But she got reelected.
This Hirono?
Yeah, well, they run every 2 years.
When is she up? I'm going to look her up.
She's up every 2 years.
Yeah.
She just got reelected in 2024, 2026. Now, you do it at the beginning of this term, then they'll forget all about it by 2026. That's what she counts on. That's what people like that hope for.
Right.
But I'm starting to think, though,
This hearing should have been held in
people
October.
have, but I think also people are starting, I think the American public in general really started waking up, and I think that's kind of what happened. And I think you're going to see more of that in general, because they are fed up and tired with some of the things that have been going on in this country, especially now that a lot of them are starting to see illegal people have more access to things than they do. And they're just fed. I think the American public is fed up, regardless if you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian.
We are all joining
all those
forces.
other ones, unaffiliated.
Well,
yes,
We are all joining forces.
Yes.
We're going to have. I know the name of my party now.
What's it going to be?
We're going to call the Americans.
I like it.
Oh,
You're
I
done
do
with
too.
it, right?
The American Party. Yes.
I don't know.
I agree with you.
Do you remember
agree
when
with you.
Mike Johnson was voted in as the Speaker
I
of
do.
the House, and then the next thing they had to do was vote on the rules? Well, I don't know if you watched it and listened, but there was a lot of Democrats that said things had been changed and they were not given the ample time to read the rules, blah, 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 common. But what had happened is, do you remember, while the Democrats had control, they had changed all the pronouns. All the pronouns were changed. And in the rules, the pronouns for the last 4 years were changed to the craziness that the
They got to
Democrats
rewrite them again.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh Lord, that wacko.
Well, let me tell you that.
I think she's wacky though.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I kind of agree
Sometimes
with
you got to have a wacky.
She refused to vote for the rules unless they were changed back to the way they used to be, where we could call you he, she, daughter, son. And so the rules were rewritten, and that's what the Democratic side was so upset about. And
I'm sorry.
All the things in the rules, and they're worried about that.
I'm sorry.
There's a whole bunch more
but
things.
that's just the beginning.
We're on the brink of war with Iran, okay?
Yes.
That was just
We're on the
this
brink of war
has
with
to
China.
do
Yes.
with what's
We got
in
Russia
the rules.
fueling all these people with everything in the world they need.
In the rules, it does not cover things like war and all. It's just a simple set of rules. This is what we'll
how they're
abide by.
supposed to act in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
but see, this is the beginning of the changes. You know how RFK? I can't wait for his hearing.
Oh.
I will. I'm going to take off work to watch that one.
I will tell you when he comes on.
Okay.
I cannot wait for that. But you know how he wants to make some of these foods safer?
Yeah, I'm all
Great
for it.
Britain, they don't allow regular or Mountain Dew or soft drinks in Great Britain. They
No.
have their own soft drinks,
They do.
but they don't contain some of the things that are in the soft drinks here made in the USA because of health reasons. Well, you know how he's talking about he wants to do this and he wants to do that. Isn't it miraculous? Isn't it funny that all of a sudden the FDA just came out with they're going to dye the red 3 color ban from the nation's food supply, because 35 years ago it was barred from being put in cosmetics because of the cancer risk. And like there's candy that we have, they have red dye in it.
Sure.
There's drinks food, cereal for kids that have the red dye. Well, the FDA all of a sudden
What about
now,
red velvet cake? They're going to take away the dye for that?
probably so.
Oh my God.
That's
We just
not
call them
good, but
devil cakes.
The only problem I have with the FDA ban is it doesn't take effect for 2 years. Take that mess out now because
Right.
trust me when I tell you I have learned a lot on this whole diverticulitis journey
Mhm.
about things that are really, really bad for you. That red dye that ban should take effect immediately.
Right.
Period.
Well,
There's
you
a
got
whole
to
list of
look at
other
it this way,
things.
though. I mean, you suffer from that, right?
Yeah.
But what about peanuts? We're going to ban them too?
No, that's something different, Rayford.
I
You know, you
understand.
have linked, there have been studies that have linked things like autism. Look at the rise of autism in the last 20 plus years versus what it used to be. Okay. You know, foods play a lot of role in the human body.
Mhm.
They flat out do. People can argue it till the day ends, and it is a statement of fact. We don't need these extra chemicals in our food. We do not need that stupid red dye.
I
We
agree.
don't need all our foods enriched with folic acid. There's a whole lot of things we do not need happening.
MSG, though, they say it's safe. But
Well, red
MSG
dye
is
does not
bad
have any
too.
taste. So what's the purpose of red dye other than to change the color?
Make it beautiful.
Oh,
Well, you know,
Nothing.
you eat those Red Devil cupcakes, and you go back and look in the mirror after you've eaten them. Your lips are red.
It's
that's
true.
the lipstick.
I mean, no, they banned it from lipstick, but
Mhm.
yet they put it in candy.
Why do y'all think I get, have a lot of my food, mailed over from Ireland? Because you don't have that crap in it. The bread over there is much better. There's a whole, I get bread. There's a
I
lot.
want to know by the time you get
Good
your
thing you
bread,
didn't
is it
stay
still
in
good?
Ireland.
Oh, it's good. But
Good thing you didn't stay in Ireland.
don't get me started. I'd love to be over there.
Well,
That's
it's
like
okay now,
processed
but in
food.
1990, they couldn't even get divorced in Ireland until 1997. Did you know that?
Divorce. I ain't worried about all that.
Well, you,
Yeah.
Rayford,
So,
you just
There are
on
some
fire
facts out
this
there.
morning.
There are facts out there. I saw it in Today in History this morning.
But I just thought that all of a
Coincidentally.
sudden now, because you got RFK coming in wanting to change things, make food healthier,
Mhm.
which I agree with a lot of his stuff. I really do. Like how many people go out and buy the pre-cooked packaged food that's in the frozen food section? Do you know how many additives they put in that in order to keep it safe for you to eat?
Have you been to the cans of food?
Cans of food? Well, yes.
Salt.
So I tried. I always look for the ones with no salt.
No. They can't. They got to have salt to preserve it. Reduced salt.
Well, low sodium.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I have bought veggies in cans that were no salt, indeed. Because I used to make sure that's what I got my mama when she was alive
Mhm.
because of her blood pressure. But they don't taste as good. I will agree. And you kind of have to add your own to it, a little bit here or there or whatever you want to add to flavor it.
Mhm.
But my butter that I buy now, I buy butter without salt in it as much as I miss it. But I try to buy healthier
So when
choices.
you pop popcorn and you put butter on it that has no salt in it, do you add a lot of salt to the popcorn?
No, I very seldom pop fresh popcorn. I usually get those skinny, but the popcorn that's
already
called
done.
skinny, and that's already But I very seldom eat it. It's just only at the ball games because they have the best
They have the
popcorn.
best
You got
salted
me
popcorn.
hooked on the popcorn
Oh, that
at
stuff
Cardinal
at the Cardinals.
High School. at the stadium. Yes,
Gotta have it.
yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Anybody want to chat this morning? Feel free. We'd love to hear from you. You got any plans this weekend? You going to do anything to make sure you stay warm?
I've got family coming Sunday, and we're going out for lunch. But other than that,
Oh, okay.
I'm still going to work around the house, getting things. I think I have most everything ready for the cold weather.
Mhm.
My dogs stay inside, and they have their little coats if they need them. My water hoses are off. I have my covers on that, and I'll check my propane tank today. Not that I will probably use it much unless electricity goes out, and I have to. Other than that, I have all my new alarms up.
No, that's good.
So we're good to go.
910-333-0139. Love to hear from you. 910-333-0139. We haven't had a lot of calls here.
Well, you
Well,
know, something else I just thought of. I know in the past, this has been something I've heard people talk about,
phone's working.
but maybe turning your freezers down a notch or two in the house,
Uh-huh.
because with the cold outside, your freezers don't take as long to freeze. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Mine right now, anything you take out of the freezer, as Steve calling, is rock hard.
Oh.
Everything's freezing easy. You might want to turn them down a little bit and save on electricity. unless you have a smart refrigerator.
Just take all the
Mine's
food
not.
out and put it outside in the wheelbarrow.
You
It'll
could
stay
do that
cold.
too. I might buy some Dr. Pepper and put out in the garage.
Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Hope y'all having a good day so far.
So far.
I ruined their day, but it's okay.
Chilly. Yeah, a little less chilly today than it was.
Yeah,
yesterday.
heat wave came through.
Yeah. Hey, I was hearing y'all talk about the dyes in food and stuff, and
Yes.
it made me think of something that happened to me a few years back. I was at work, and it was lunchtime. We were sitting there eating, and somebody had one of those orange sodas, and it got knocked over, and we had a paper towel holder in the middle of the table, one of those spindles you just set the paper towels on, and it was white, and that orange soda got on that holder, and it was metal painted white, but it turned it orange.
Ooh,
the dye from that soda.
Yeah.
that's some
And
good dye.
it got all over the table and everything. We got it off the table, but that paper towel holder for 2 years, we tried bleach, we tried acetone, we tried everything we could think of, and they had dyed that thing orange. And in 2 years, when I left there after 2 years, we still had it there. It still had that orange on it from that orange soda.
My goodness.
Now I don't drink soda. I mean, I do occasionally, rarely, but I'm more of a tea drinker. But I used to make fun of them every day when we come in. I was like, man, I can't believe y'all still drinking those sodas with those dyes in it after you've seen that. And they were still chug-a-lug, drinking them right down. But
well, look at those frozen popsicles that all have the dye in them.
Oh boy.
And kids sit there and eat them, and their lips turn whatever colored sickle they're eating.
And if you like I was, and like all the kids I remember back in the days when you're like 6, 8 years old out there playing in the summertime.
Right.
And you're eating those popsicles, and of course you had it running down your mouth and all the way down your chest and all over your clothes and everywhere else.
Yes.
It was there forever.
You're right.
Yeah.
Stain your shirts.
I think my skin's still stained in a couple of places.
it makes me think if you turned us inside out, we'd look like rainbows.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I think there needs to be better regulation on a lot of this food that we're consuming.
No, we just didn't want to deal with it. I mean, the manufacturers.
Fat nation. We're a fat nation. Look over at Japan. Do you ever see anybody from Japan that's fat? No, they're all skinny.
You ever seen those sumo wrestlers?
Well, that's different. That's different. Yeah, but no, we do eat poorly over here, and
I was going to say our staple food is cheeseburgers, and theirs is fish and rice.
See, yeah, they eat healthy.
Big difference.
No, I'm not saying I don't like a cheeseburger. I love a nice grilled cheeseburger.
Right.
Oh yeah, hamburger, but I don't eat
All
cheeseburgers.
things in moderation.
I mean, it's if they use cheese, though, it can't be the plastic cheese. It's got to be the freshly grated type cheese.
It's already prepackaged and ready to go from if you go to the restaurants. As far as the fast food places, real restaurants probably not.
I'll tell you that an experiment you can try that might change your mind about fast food. Go to any of them and get a cheeseburger, just a cheeseburger, and take it and set it on a shelf somewhere and go back and look at it in 30 days.
30 days?
It's kind of like Twinkies.
In 30 days. It's going to look the same. The bread ain't going to mold. The meat ain't going to mold. Nothing's going to mold. There's so many preservatives and so much salt in it, you can lay it on a shelf. Now, it ain't going to be good to eat. Don't eat it.
Oh, no. I would never eat it.
It's not going to look bad.
Well,
so, I mean,
right after the show, we'll go out to Lee's pickup truck and look under the front seat and see if we can find one that's left.
You will not find anything. Besides, you can't get anything under the front seats with all the wires and mechanical stuff.
French fries?
Nope.
Have you ever, Steve, been through, maybe many years ago as a kid, you ever been through a car, maybe before you could even drive, and as a kid, you find a French fry and you ate it?
All kids did that.
I mean, I don't specifically remember doing that, but I'm not going to say that was outside the possibility for me. I tried dog food when I was a kid. My dad got mad at me for that. But he would give me the dog food to take out to the dogs. And I was like, well,
the grandkids, when they were little, they'd go up there and take from the dog bowl and try to eat it, the dry food.
Well, my logic was if we let them eat our food, then we should know what their food tastes like. At the time, I was about 5, but I will tell you that we do have things that we consume that taste just like it.
Yes.
I don't consume them, but you can go down the potted meat aisle, and everything up there tastes just like Alpo.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, some of it
like
doesn't
potted
taste.
meat.
Probably doesn't taste as good as Alpo, to be honest with you.
No, I like those little cans of potted meat with a cracker when I'm really hungry. Occasionally.
I agree.
I don't.
I agree, but it's processed meat. It's the same thing.
I do like buying a sausage, and I know
and
that's
Vienna
terrible.
sausage. I was going to say that.
I do that with some crackers and not a bad sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually get them squish them between two crackers.
Does he? No, Lord.
Yeah.
Takes me back. But it's been a long time since I had that.
Hot dogs aren't really a good, healthy staple, but I love occasionally.
How about those beef hot dogs?
That's what I buy when I buy them. But I like those with, chili and onions and stuff. Occasionally, I don't eat them a lot, but and I know what they're comprised of, what they're composed of. But I eat them.
I'm always been a big fan of hot dogs. One of my favorite ballpark foods for sure.
Yep.
Well,
I found out when I put one in a microwave without water, trying to heat it up one time.
It blew up, didn't it?
Well, it will start throwing sparks because there's little shavings of metal in them from the processing procedure.
I've never had one do that.
Eating them, but there's little small particles of metal inside of them, and it's just like if you put a fork in the microwave, you put a hot dog in the microwave without water.
Steve, they're really good in the air fryer. Try the air fryer.
Just put them over.
Another note, I was talking about the salt this morning, and man, that stuff is in everything. And the nutritionist lady I go see, she told me, she said it ain't so much the salt at your table because if you put too much of that, you're not going to eat it.
Yep.
She said it's the dissolved salt, the sodium. She said there'll be so much salt in there that if you just put it on at the end, you couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
But when it's cooked in it, you don't notice it.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Well, I've gotten to where I can't eat a lot of salt anyway, because if I eat something really salty, I get an instant headache. My body chemistry has changed, but I mean, I have good blood pressure, but it just instantly gives me a headache and my blood pressure goes up. So whatever. So I've tried to go with a lot of, I've tried to get used to not using salt on a lot of stuff. It's not easy.
Yeah. It is a flavor enhancer.
Yes.
Sweet tea or straight?
What is wrong with you?
I'm asking Steve.
I was going to say, I'm only going to say, where you from when you ask me that. but I have gotten down to one half cup of sugar per gallon. So
very good.
Super sweet tea, and it's green tea. I only drink green tea.
Yeah.
Unless I go to a restaurant or something.
Right.
But
when I've traveled,
green tea.
When
that stuff in the bottle is horrible.
I like brewed tea. Period.
When I traveled with my sister to New York and some other places up north, we would go on trips. And every time we go in a restaurant, I asked for some sweet tea. They would look at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I just asked for some Southern tea, y'all.
Yeah. But
South going to rise again.
The same thing happens when you go far enough south. Once you get past Jacksonville, Florida, they ain't heard of sweet tea either. They look like it's like you're crazy.
Well, let's go.
Because all the Northerners have moved down there. That's why.
Yeah, that's why, Kelly. That's right.
Yeah.
I had to go a solid week on. We went on a cruise and I couldn't get no sweet tea the whole entire time.
Oh man!
Really?
I was ready to strangle somebody if they told me, "Will you take the unsweet tea and put some sugar in it?"
Nope.
Yeah, I was like, "You don't understand."
So if I ever go on a cruise, pack some tea bags and sugar.
Well, here's one thing you can do if you get to one of these places on a cruise or a restaurant that's hoity-toity, snotty people. Just tell them to bring you a little cup of hot water, very hot water, and a sugar dish. Dissolve some of that sugar in that hot water, and then pour it in your tea and stir it up.
I thought of that immediately after I had some sweet tea to drink. I guess I was going through withdrawals or something because that didn't cross my mind on the whole cruise until I got back and got some sweet tea. I was like, I could have just melted some sugar.
You got to melt it. It doesn't work to pour. I can pour half a glass of nothing but sugar in a cold tea. It will not dissolve, and you still have to keep stirring it up constantly. You'd be best to just take a sip of the raw tea and a spoonful of sugar.
Well, when I go out to some of the restaurants around here, I mean, I know which restaurants, when you ask for sweet tea, it's sweet. It is so sweet. I can't drink it.
What?
So I have to ask for half and half.
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit of both to kind of water down that sweetness.
Yeah, I like the sweetness.
Puts 2.5 cups of sugar per gallon.
Go to Bojangles. Bojangles, I could just park my truck and run home after drinking their tea. It is so sweet.
Okay. All right, Steve, you're playing somewhere tonight. I forgot where it is.
I have to look at the list.
No, tonight I've got a private party, and that's the only one I got this weekend.
Okay.
I'm back out in the public next weekend.
Well, we got one week to go.
Yep.
To the borough. We'll see you next Friday.
All righty. Y'all try and stay dry over the next couple of days. And, watch out for that winter that's coming next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be gone by Friday.
It better be. I got a Jeep, but I don't want to drive in it. All right. Thank you, Steve-O.
I got you.
Thanks, Steve.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You too.
Want to weigh in on anything? We're wide open by Friday, 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. Kelly has taken her leave. She's getting ready
to go to a meeting.
Run through the door out there.
I had her alarm set.
It's something I said this morning about the hooker. That's what it is. It messed her up.
She's like, I'm done. I'm done for the week.
And then what was it? She had never heard. Y'all never heard of the Fourth Estate? That really surprises me.
I thought I knew what you meant when you first started talking about it, and then I was like, no, I had no clue. I was thinking something else. So.
Well, Fourth Estate was an honorable situation to begin with, and the whole idea was that there is to safeguard, to watch over.
Well, let me ask you this: since you've been in the news, you've newsman, ran a TV station, blah blah.
Ran a news operation.
A news operation,
which was a TV station.
Right. Okay. The last 4 years, we've seen a huge change in media, in news reporting, and how it had a tendency, especially towards the last of the 4 years, to turn very biased and to promote a lot of news that wasn't all factual. Are you starting to see a little bit of a change back now?
Well, let me ask you, before I get into that just a little bit, is it because some of these folks that were on the side that you didn't care for?
The other side, yes.
They were on the other side.
Right.
They may have been changing, or is it because maybe you have changed a bit? Do you see yourself as leaning a little bit more towards the center? I'm not going to say liberal, but towards the center, as opposed to your rabid right side that you had at one time?
I've always been a moderate. I've always leaned towards the center. But, it got to the point, and I told you, and you know me, I watch a lot of YouTube stuff. I watch a lot of live stuff that's happening at the time. When I watched the Carter funeral, for an example, and when they were at the Washington Cathedral, and I watched the different former presidents and their wives coming out. And when I saw Trump and Melania go, they had to go in between the aisles there and people had to stand up. And I saw Pence stand up, and you could tell he was very reserved, and he did the proper thing. He shook Trump's hand. And my understanding is he told him congratulations, whatever. Pence's wife sat there, and you really couldn't see her face at that time, but you saw that she didn't make an effort to shake Trump's hand. And there was never a gesture towards Melania by Mrs. Pence, or Melania didn't reach out to shake her hand. Mrs. Pence didn't reach out, but yet the news is saying, oh, Melania reached out her hand and Mrs. Pence refused to do this and that, and I'm like, well, that's not what happened. I saw it with my own eyes, but that's what I'm learning more and more. And there's a lot of things that have happened in the past over the last 4 years, like the accusation of the, election being stolen. And, of course, I had my opinions on that. And you and I were probably right there together on it. But watching these congressional hearings, And then finding out a lot of the stuff that I'm hearing from people, and I'm watching it live and watching it come out of their own lips. That's like when they were doing the congressional hearing with Pam Bondi, and Schiff was going after her about, do you believe the election was stolen? She kept trying to say, sir, it's what I saw in Pennsylvania with my own eyes. And every time she tried to say that, he kept cutting her off. He didn't want her to talk about that. It makes you wonder a little bit. Was a lot of that more than what it actually was, just to make the people think that there definitely wasn't any election fraud and that Trump is a liar? I mean, we're finding out now that a lot of things that have been happening over at least the last couple of years was directly aimed at keeping Trump from being able to run again.
Well, I have zero doubt that the actions of those who were pushing the DOJ during that time, I have no doubt that that was all politicized.
Right.
Okay.
I think so too.
Otherwise, it would have looked a lot differently, and we would have seen a lot more openness.
Right.
We would have seen it applied equally across the board. We would not have heard the excuse, well, we could go after an old gray-haired granddaddy who can't remember much for doing the same thing that we're accusing Trump of doing. We couldn't go after him because, no jury would buy it.
Right.
Okay, well, I agree with that. No jury would buy it. So why go after it? Why waste your time? Did they really believe they could get enough so that the American public would be dissuaded? Do you know, I know you're one of, where's Chris want to name? Wrestling versus wrestling.
That's right.
The wrestling stuff.
I like wrestling.
You like wrestling. You
Yes.
don't know that the underdog is the one that you and other people pull for, right? In the beginning of the wrestling match, they get up there and they scream and holler, and then the underdog, it looks like he's getting his butt beat, and then suddenly he rallies.
If you ever watch
And
it,
I have watched, and then the crowd, the audience goes berserk and crazy pulling for the underdog.
everything is already pre-planned.
Of course it is.
It's not like, they pulled out a win all
If
of
they
a
get
sudden.
hurt, somebody
It's all
screwed up.
pre-planned. And what happens is when the guy that you want to win goes out there, it starts off, he's beating the heck out of the other guy.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden it takes a turn and the other guy starts beating him, and your guy becomes a wimp, and then give it a few more minutes and then your guy takes over. It goes back and forth continuously.
It's a Hallmark story.
I would call it Hallmark, but
Man
it is,
chases girl or girl chases man.
I don't want to
They
bust
lose-
anybody's
They
bubble out
lose each
there.
other, and then all of a sudden they get back together. Man wins girl.
I
Girl
don't
wins
wanna-
man.
Now there have been some matches where like Jake was supposed to lose, but Jake got mad and Jake beat the heck out of the other guy. And he wasn't
How
supposed
do you
to.
know he was
Yeah.
supposed to lose?
I mean, you've got look. There are articles
You
of
read it, right?
Sportspedia and some of the others that they just put it all out there.
Sportspedia,
Yeah.
and they actually cover wrestling.
Yeah, they cover that. That
That's
was mainly.
entertainment. That's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
Sports.
all entertainment, but in this entertainment, sometimes things go wrong, and where it was already written for it to fall this way, it fell a different way because things happen sometimes. Like maybe that wrestler didn't fall right and he ended up breaking an arm or something, So, I mean, it is a athletic sport to say the least, but it's entertainment and I like the entertainment. I like watching it.
Do you know of any wrestlers? Who's the best wrestler today?
Well, I would
Okay.
think no. I mean, I have my favorite today
Not
that
for
I've
your
had for
favorite.
last year.
Who is the
But
best one? Let me back up. Who is the title holder? The one with the biggest buckle?
I want to tell you what, he's retired now, but I think the Undertaker was the best. But his was more themed towards entertainment. But when the Undertaker came out, you were like, turn the lights on, it's too dark in here. Well, I mean, it's all fun.
Okay. So pick one person that is the best of the best today.
I couldn't really say who I thought was the best of the best. I think it was Jennifer calling. I had so many favorites, and when they're your favorites, you consider them the
You're
best.
beating around the bush more than Hillary
No.
Clinton would do.
No, I really didn't. I really don't have.
We'll continue this after.
What you? Who do you think?
I
John
have no
Cena?
idea. I don't know any of them.
Oh, you don't know any.
I'm
Well,
just
it's on
asking.
tonight.
I'm just asking you.
It's moved to Netflix.
Jennifer, who's the best wrestler out there today?
Oh, Lord, honey, I don't know today, but I was calling because back in the day, I mean, it was the big thing up here on Saturdays.
Mhm.
I mean, anywhere you went, there was people sitting there watching wrestling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, wrestling. It used to come on
And-
Saturday mornings back in the day.
And in Kingsport, there is actually a wrestling school. I mean, there's a place. It is up here in the hills. Especially back in the day. I mean, you're talking to a girl that's gone down to the high school gym to see the Ric Flairs and Wahoo McDaniels and all that. It is a big thing, back then. But I was calling because what you were talking about, like the all scripted and everything.
Uh-huh.
Right.
My dad worked for it was back then, it was called Kingsport Press. It was a book manufacturing company.
I remember Kingsport, yeah.
And there was one of the wrestlers that worked there. And he was a quote unquote bad guy.
Uh-huh.
And my dad told me, he said, the guy's name was Tony something. And my dad told me, he said he is the nicest man. I thought my dad was just yanking my chain. And we were in town one day, and I heard this man go, "Hey, Bill." And I turned around, and here's this wrestler. And my dad's just standing there yucking it up, and I'm thinking, and I was young, and I was thinking, how can you talk to this man? This mean old man.
Mm-hmm.
And he, my dad introduced me to him. He was just, and after we walked off, Daddy told me, he said, "See, I told you, it's all for show."
It's all for show. That's exactly right.
And I will tell
and
you that the
Go
organization
ahead.
does so much. They do so much nonprofit work for children that are sick, children that are dying. They have a big foundation and they give religiously and they do things for children. I mean, and it's great that they do that. And so they do a lot of charity events. They give a lot of money, just like
Yeah.
NASCAR does.
Yeah.
We'll get NASCAR in here next.
Exactly. But I thought it was when y'all were talking about that, I told Terry, I said, "I'll be back in just a second." I said, "I've got to call and give them my wrestling story." Because Daddy said that they actually told him at the press, they said, "Look, man, we know you do this on the weekends, but you got to quit coming in." Because, I mean, it is a very physical thing.
Yes,
and,
it is.
there are the bruises and all of that. And they told him, they said, you got to tone it down a little bit. Now you got to come in on Monday mornings ready to work.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was really neat that he worked, that Daddy knew one of them that wrestled on the weekends, all
Yeah.
around Knoxville, Kingsport, Tri-Cities, and all of that. So, anywho,
Okay.
and we will
you're
talk
talking
all about inauguration next week.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know whether,
Confirmations and-
Jennifer, I told Rafer this morning, I didn't know whether to wear a ball gown Monday or a Santa hat.
I tell you what, the confirmation hearings have been
Oh,
that little senator from Hawaii.
Hirono.
Now, I told Terry, I said I'd like to just, well, I won't say on the air what I'd like. Yeah.
Oh, she's fierce. And we'll talk about what she said to Doug
my
Burnham.
mama would say, slap the taste out of her mouth.
Yeah. The questions she asked everyone that comes before her is just unreal.
Oh, it is. And you know what really got me is Terry was watching it when they had Pete Hegseth on there.
Yes.
And I watched her with him, and she, was all, well, if you had have met with me and blah, 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 and you didn't meet with anybody, yuck, yuck, yuck.
Right.
Pam Bondi turned it right around on
She
her.
did.
She said, well, ma'am, if you would have met with me.
She said, you're the
and
only
said,
one.
She said, I'm meeting with you now, and blah, blah, blah. I thought, well,
Yeah,
it got turned around on you, didn't it?
yeah, she was too busy getting some
Good job.
coconut shells together to meet with her in advance.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, this is the first two questions she asked every nominee. She says, as part of my responsibility to ensure the fitness of nominees before any of the committees on which I sit, I ask the following two initial questions. The first one is, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assaulted, stupid pop-up, or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature? That's the first question she asked. The second question she asked is, have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct? That's the first two questions she asked each nominee.
Boy, she's got one-track mind, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Evidently, she must be a lonely woman. I'm just going to put it that way. It's just like, is that necessary?
Yeah.
Is that necessary?
Depends on what she's got on her mind.
When you were working at the news station and you were interviewing employees, would that have been proper for you to ask them something like that before you hired them?
You know the kind of questions that I asked. No, I did not ask those kind of questions, but
I mean,
I had a cover-all question for everybody.
Yes.
I had a catch-all just in case.
Well, you have a catch-all for every politician that's come in
Same
here.
thing. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing that I did with my employees. And we were sent, we had 45 TV stations in the group that I worked for. Okay, a bunch of stations. And so we had a human relations department, and the human relations people sent out a list of questions that you need to ask prospective employees. And this is what you need to go. And I said, well, I always ask, these are pretty much the questions I ask, but I also ask another question. And the HR guy said, well, you need to stick to this list of questions. I said, well, they don't always apply. And I said, I've got one more. He said, well, what is it? And I told him, is there anything, if it gets to this point in time that I get to the final question,
Right.
is there anything that I would learn about you after I hire you that would cause me not to hire you today if I found out today?
Right.
Whoops. He said, I like that. We're going to put that down on the list of questions to ask.
And you know what? The people that don't quite tell the truth on that.
Oh, they stand out like a sore thumb.
But the thing about it is, it always comes back around, and it
Well,
always comes out.
when a news director is asking you those
Right.
questions and you're just out of school, you would be absolutely amazed at the stupid stuff that I was told about.
Right.
Well, there was this one time, it was like I threw a gum wrapper on the ground. I'm sorry. It was a bunch of stuff that came out like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, everybody is guilty of something like that. But, just for an example, remember, well, we had a candidate a couple years ago to come into the studio to give his story about why he was running. And you asked him point blank that question, and he failed to mention the 2 or 3 pages that we already knew about and had copies of.
Say whoops.
Failed to mention any of that. I mean, but let me tell you, you put yourself out there running for public office.
Yeah.
People are going to know.
And if you do say, yes, I did this and this and this, okay, let me explain it. Yes, I would let you explain it. That's not a problem. And it may be something so trivial that is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Nobody that I ever asked that question, they did say that had done whatever.
Right.
There was nothing significant to me that mattered. But this woman on the hill, she doesn't want to hear you. Yes, I did. I dropped a gum wrapper one time. Oh, did you do it intentionally, or were you throwing it on the ground? No, they don't follow up with questions like that. And it could have been simple as, yeah, I opened this wrapper and the wind was blowing 30 miles an hour and I was in the parking lot. And yes, I was on a cane because I had been wounded in war. And this gum wrapper goes flying across the parking lot. Okay, different story.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot in the studio over the last couple of years that we knew a lot about their history because sometimes, or most of the time, we like to kind of get a little bit of a bio on a person.
Mm-hmm.
So when they come in, we can,
You call it bio, I call it background check.
Well, I call it like, like I'll check out your website, see what your issues are, what you would like to see happen. And then I might dig a little deeper if your website's not got much, and then discover, oh, you were convicted of a sexual offense back 10 years ago or 5 years ago, or, you've had 3 or 4 recent DWIs, I mean, explain that.
If you've got I'm looking for the person, the man, woman, or any child above 5 who hasn't committed some sort of an egregious act of some sort or another, right?
Right.
5 years old could take their dirty diapers and throw it into the punch bowl.
Right.
That would be an egregious act, right?
Right.
People do things. People screw up.
Yes,
Everybody screws up. Show me one that hasn't. I won't show you that says they haven't. I'll show you a liar. Okay, everybody does. Depends upon what you've done with all of your life compared to 1 or 2 or 3 situations that may not amount to a hill of beans, but to you it may have been really a bad thing, and it may haunt you. Something that the rest of us may consider kind of minor. What the people that bug me, I killed this guy, but he needed killing. I mean, he was stealing my drugs.
Well,
do you have any regrets over that? No, I mean, he deserved killing. Those are the kind of people that you got to worry about.
Right.
Does anybody see the difference?
Yes, exactly. And like I say, we've had some come in here that we knew a whole lot, but you gave them the chance to explain it, which I would say most of them did not take the opportunity to explain it.
You don't fess up to it under questioning, and you're running. You can ask Lee questions. This is none of your business what she did. Okay,
well, you're not going to find much on me.
You can ask anybody questions, and if it's unless you're running for public office,
right?
Unless there's something there. Oh, do we unfairly judge school teachers too harshly? Do we expect them unfairly? Do we judge them too harshly? I mean, we're trusting our most precious commodity.
I think there are some people that do not trust a teacher. And what I have found most of the time is maybe this is a parent who's going after a teacher because their child is failing and they're blaming it on the teacher. Well, what's the parent doing trying to help?
Yeah.
Is a parent sitting with the child at nighttime?
Well, how many times have you heard? I mean, I did even growing up. I remember this. I saw that teacher having a drink at a party.
Yeah, well.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you see the way that teacher was dressed on New Year's Eve? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And somebody gets a picture and somebody starts posting it all over social media. Yeah. This Mrs. So-and-so is a
2nd grade
wild
teacher.
Yes.
And look at what she's doing.
Look what she's
wearing. Is this
wearing.
what we want as teaching our kids? Oh, I'm serious. Right. That happens. And if y'all haven't been exposed to that, you've lived a very sheltered life.
Yeah, exactly. And times have changed. I can remember when I was in junior high school, we weren't allowed to wear pants to school. It had to be dresses.
Naked like that. Oh,
we had to wear dresses, skirts and dresses. We weren't allowed to wear pants. And one of my classmates who I graduated with from Jacksonville, her father back in the day, because when we first got to school and the bus dropped us off like at Northwoods Park Middle School, which junior high then, we would have to stand outside and wait for the doors to open before we could go in. He started dressing his daughter in pants and the school kept sending her home. because pants were against the dress code.
Just
back
what she
then.
wanted.
Well,
Please,
anyway,
Daddy, put pants on me.
when he was able to go to the Board of Education, they worked it all out. And from that moment on, we got to wear pants.
Good.
See, and that's what you do. But yeah, but the teachers were always dressed in nice dresses and heels, and the male teachers in the Mr. Rogers sweaters with a tie.
Some of them, yeah.
That was back in the day. Things have relaxed, and it doesn't bother me to see a teacher wearing a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt or something to school and some tennis
As long as
shoes.
they're not holy jeans.
Yeah, exactly. That I don't go for in that situation. But the thing about it is, we need to focus more on what that teacher's bringing to our students.
Show me.
Right.
What can you do for the kiddies?
That's right. Exactly.
We're going to wrap up here on this wrestling thing.
Oh, well,
1975.
1975. Well, see, you had Hulk Hogan,
October 4th,
Jake the Snake.
1975 in Wilmington. All these wrestlers who get out there and put on this act that they hate each other.
Yes.
They hate each other. They're going to beat each other
It's
up.
part of the act.
They were scheduled for a fight that evening, a wrestling match at
Wait, didn't say
Legion
happen?
Stadium, October 4th at 8:15 p.m. I've got the ad right here from the
Okay.
Wilmington Star News. Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Woods versus Johnny Valentine and Ric Flair versus Wahoo McDaniels. The fight didn't go off.
Something happened.
Yeah, a plane crash carrying all four of those. All four of those wrestlers came in on a small plane.
Yeah,
chartered
that's
small
what it
plane,
was.
and it ran out of fuel just before it reached the runway
Right.
at the Wilmington Airport. Landed just outside the prison department gates,
Mm-hmm.
the prison unit.
I remember that story.
I was
You started
there.
talking about it.
I was
Yeah,
there.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have remembered it without you reading it, but I remember that story. But, you just have to understand. And, I have a lot of people that will criticize you because you like to watch it. It's entertainment.
Yeah, it was fine.
I would
You can do
rather
what
watch
you wanna
that
do.
than a soap opera. You know what soap operas are?
Yeah. Ric Flair broke his back in that thing, by the way, in three places. He finally returned to the ring in early 1976. Not much over a month later. And let's see, Tim Woods and Johnny Valentine also survived, but Valentine was paralyzed.
It's Chris Marks. Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't remember that.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
remember the incident about the plane running out of gas.
Just ask me. I lived part of history.
Chris.
I lived a bigger part of history than
Chris,
before.
you like to watch wrestling?
I got to tell you, I like the previous when it was NWA.
And
When it
then
was out
WWF or something like that.
Yeah. And even up to the point where the Nature Boy, who I had the honor, I got to introduce him in the ring at White Oak High School.
Oh,
Cool.
really?
I
When
went there that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
was
he
there,
really
Chris.
wa-
Go ahead.
He, one of his things was, I'm a jet flying, limousine riding, stealing, wheeling, kissing, and he shows up 3-piece suit in a limousine
Yeah.
with a briefcase and his outfit. He walks in to White Oak High School, puts the briefcase at the admissions desk, goes in, changes. He comes out, in this corner at 250 pounds, Rayford Brown. Ooh, sorry, Rayford. And now you're a 15-time world heavyweight wrestling champion of the world. Ric Flair. Now go crazy. He wrestled 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Takes a shower, changes clothes, opens up the briefcase, looks at all the cash, gets in his limousine and goes, thanks, and leaves.
Yeah. That's the way it works.
Those were the good old days.
And they counted every bit of that cash, reported it to the tax man and everything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what he did
Sure.
was, sadly, Rick had a real bad drinking problem. He would drink. I believe let's see what it was. He would drink 24. What is a mixed drink? Anyway, he drank 24 mixed drinks and 10 beers before he got in the ring.
Lord, a good God.
And that's his health
and the
these
thing-
days.
Whenever they would stay in a big city hotel for the night, they would promote him being there so that women would show up.
Yeah.
He never paid, obviously, for a drink.
Buy
or
him
anything.
drinks.
But that crash was horrific because it took Johnny's wrestling career away from him.
Who was your fafavorite wrestler?
Did I call it wrestling?
Yeah, if you want to, I call it wrestling.
Wrestling or wrestling?
It's
Well, I was
WWE.
corrected by my former office manager at Cable Company. She said, "That's wrestling, Chris. Wrestling. Wrestling is what Groman Records do." But today, in a 3-hour program, if you watched it on TV, 3 hours. Do you know how much wrestling is actually occurring in
Not
3
a
hours?
lot. So many
47
promos and
minutes.
so many of them get up there to argue something for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we just move on?
47 minutes of actual wrestling in a 3-hour program. So, if you like entertainment versus these reality shows, and that's what these are. These
Yeah.
are actors who
Just
are great
entertainment.
athletes. Great athletes. I mean, you think, even though it's padded rings, you still figure you're falling from 30 feet off a ladder.
Yeah. You got to know how to land.
Yeah.
You got to know how to duck.
Or falling off the ladder and landing on your back on a table and it breaks in half, which we know the tables are made to do that. But still,
Oh, yes,
ouch.
yes.
Ouch.
It's very interesting. I got to go to what they call the Bruise Cruise with a bunch of wrestlers. And I was on with Diamond Dallas Page. Nicest guy in the world. Walks in, I'm sitting at the bar. He walks in, I go, how's it going? I'm not going to use his language because he didn't really like these things. And I said, hey, want a beer? He said, sure. He hung out with me the rest of the cruise because I didn't ask for his autograph. Didn't treat him like anything other than I would Rayford Lee. It's just nothing. He hung out because I didn't really give, or that he's a wrestler.
Yep. Yeah. What was there was memories. The guy who played our World War II hero, the big movie about him. Who was the actor in that movie? Came out on stage.
Always wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sergeant
God.
Slaughter?
No.
I cannot
No, this is a
think.
general.
This
He commanded the
was way
forces there.
back, yeah.
Oh golly, it's Patton,
General
Patton.
Patton.
and a guy named George C. Scott played him in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wilmington, when I was there, had lots of people, actors and wannabe actors and half actors and all sorts of people showing up all the time, right? So they were kind of like
Right.
around, but they didn't go out and do a lot of public things. All on their own. They may go out as a group somewhere or whatever. But downtown on the waterfront, right at the foot of Market Street, right over the river, it's a great place. It was for me to take pictures of sunsets and stuff like that because I would stop, and if it looked like it was going to be a cool looking sunset, maybe something I could include the Battleship Memorial in. It's not a battleship, it's the memorial.
Right.
There, and I would sit there and maybe run through a little film or two. George C. Scott walking a dog comes by, and he looks at me with a camera. I'm shooting a Hasselblad. He looks at me. I see him, and he turns and starts to walk away. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I thought I might be in your way or something like that." And I said, "Nope, you're fine. And I'm not taking pictures of actors. I'm not the paparazzi. I'm taking pictures for myself." And he looked at me and he says, "That's a really refreshing thing." I said, "Yeah, we got a lot of you folks around here. I got other things to take pictures of." He got a kick out of that.
How cool.
And Heather, or there were twins, Heather and another one that were, I think they were twins, sisters anyway. Who were they? Actresses. They were fairly well known. I don't remember anything anymore. I was out on the end of the Cary Beach fishing pier down at Cary Beach, North Carolina, in the middle of the wintertime. It was a beautiful day, warm for January or February, whenever I was there. And I was at the end of the pier just kind of shooting back towards land because it was kind of cool looking to see the pier, really wide angle, nobody on it, with the part of Cary Beach waterfront in the background. I was shooting that. And this lady's coming walking in my direction, and then she stops, and then she goes over to the pier and just stands there. Well, I finished wrapping up the stuff, and I walked by, and she was Heather somebody, whatever her name was. Golly, I'll think of that
Heather
one.
Locklear?
That's the one. Who was her sister?
Wow.
Is that when the movie studio was going and they were over there?
She was there.
Heather Locklear. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to look it up.
Maria Schreiber I bumped into, and she was at a party. We will go into that one day, another day.
No, there's a story there. Lori Locklear.
Lori, yeah.
Okay.
Lori.
She had
Something.
two.
Lori Locklear is what it's got.
But she had two.
Wait, yeah,
Lori
you're right.
and
Let me
Colleen.
see. Well, it says Lori
which-
Locklear has 3 siblings. Her older sister Heather. Blah blah blah. Let me see what it shows. Why don't they mention the
I
other
don't-
siblings?
She's the black sheep, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
That's just
There
wrong.
was Lori and Colleen, and then Heather,
Mark
but,
Locklear and younger sister Colleen. You're right.
I don't
Chris
know
is
who-
right on it.
Okay.
I don't know who.
Very
who,
good,
but,
Chris.
yeah, but no, well, yeah. 'Cause how many Locklears that you can remember?
Locklear's from
them.
Palo Alto up here.
I know Locklear's over there in Robinson County.
Yeah, well, they're probably related.
Lots of them over there.
Hey, watch Chris. Chris, listen to this reaction. I'm going to show Rayford my favorite wrestler. Wait a minute.
Wrestler.
Okay.
He's a wrestler. Okay, wait a minute. I'm tied up in the daggone.
I saw some
Computer
wrestlers
cord.
down there in
There you
the
go.
and on Bourbon Street one night. Just what you need.
Isn't he pretty?
He's pretty weird.
He's not. In real life, we're
Who?
talking about Roman Reigns. I
Oh.
love Roman Reigns. He's my favorite right now. But in real life, he has leukemia. So he's in
Yeah.
remission. But he had won the world championship title a couple years ago. And he got up on stage.
Gave it to him out of sympathy for him.
No, listen. No, he fought his way to get it. You know, it's real. Anyway, he got up there and he had to tell everyone in the audience and the TV viewing that his leukemia had come back and he was going to have to leave wrestling for a while. And he stayed away almost 2 years and then went into remission again. He's back in remission.
good.
But there's
Well,
a
good for
lot of real life in this. But for the most part, it's just strictly entertainment.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, it is. It is, and some of them, the big stars, they ride in jets. The other ones, they ride from one city to the next city in their cars.
Yes, they
Yes.
Well, tough.
That's like Elvis Presley was in the beginning days of Elvis Presley. He went in his little station wagon, he and his band, and they drove. Matter of fact, they left Jacksonville, Florida one night after a gig, and they performed in New Bern the next night, drove right through Jacksonville on Highway 17.
Wow.
I was on the way to get to New Bern at the time.
Wow.
one of my Christmas stories, when my brother Jerry was on the police department, and the guy at that time it was NWA out of Raleigh, and they were driving on Henderson Drive, speeding, and Jerry pulled them over. And the guy goes, "Do you know who I am?" He goes, "Yeah, you're the Missouri Mauler." Yeah, well, have a good night. He goes, No, I need your license and registration. He goes, "But I'm the Missouri Mauler." He goes, "Right, and that's the name that's going to be on the ticket for doing 50 and a 35.
Oh, wow.
Well, look, how many times did George Jones get close to us before he got picked up for something? We were scheduled to do the security when he appeared.
At City Hall.
Yeah,
In
somewhere.
At the auditorium.
Yeah, so long ago. I was just into a uniform then. I was very young. But he ended up not showing up. That's the biggest thing I remember about him.
Well, do y'all remember how many times Willie Nelson showed up at Kenansville and they had to stop the show because of what was on his bus?
Oh, yes.
Hey, I remember the time that he got that a couple of his band members got popped too.
Oh, yeah.
By a friend of mine who was an ALA agent here who was ordered to go there and look for that
I'm
stuff.
surprised he's still alive. Willie Nelson.
Yeah,
He's
you know,
pickled.
they do say that
Preserved.
that's medicinal purpose.
Must be some good medicine, that's all I can tell you.
Can we take some of that and put it in some retinol cream?
You know,
for us
he's only
ladies?
47 years old. He just looks older.
47 times 2, 3. Ah. Yeah, well, have you seen
Well,
Lee
yeah.
Greenwood lately?
Mm-mm. Oh, yes.
He's in his 80s.
He's aged.
Yes, he's aged
that?
a lot.
Lee
Lee
Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Oh yeah.
And
he
I
was
noticed
right.
his voice is a little bit less now, but God love him. He wrote the best song ever.
So was Frank
Yeah,
Sinatra. They
though.
just potted him down a little bit at the end, and the band played a little louder in the background.
As you know, he can still, when he does his rendition of God Bless the USA,
I know it.
Still,
You'll hear it Monday.
you know, yeah.
I can't believe
we have
YMCA, the Village people are going to be there. I started laughing when I saw
When
that.
I saw that, I said, "What?
Yeah, why
Who-
you know
who
the
did this?
YMCA?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe they
know.
could just come on down here and get in front of our YMCA and do the song. Talk about fundraiser.
Yeah,
Hey guys,
there you go.
think about it. Billy, are you listening?
Oh my gosh, that is a great idea. And I could just walk across the street.
Maybe we get some lookalikes and do it.
Yeah.
We do have some
won't be
locals
me.
going there.
Yes.
Some locals going that got invitations to the actual inauguration, and some are going to the balls.
Yes. Yes. I have some good friends
me.
that are going. And God bless them
me.
because for the inauguration, they've got to stand out in that bitter cold.
No, I don't. They got a TV set for that.
I'm saying the ones that are going, and they're excited about it. But
no.
you know what? I'm gonna watch it on TV.
They're going to get up there. It's
Yeah.
going to be so cold that morning when they get up at 5 o'clock to get ready
Right.
that they're going to step outside and say, you know what? I'm going to stay in the room and
I'm
watch it on
watching
TV. What do you
in the
think?
hotel
I mean, that's
room.
what I'd be doing. Give me a
I
break.
came to DC to watch it on TV
There
in
you
my
go. Because
hotel
I'm
room.
closer.
But I know some that
But
are
you know what,
actually
they-
going to the balls and stuff. And I
Yeah, I
actually
do
got an
too.
invitation yesterday by email to go
Well,
from
no.
Trump. It's just
Wow.
a email that they sent out to everybody. And then when you click it open, they ask for donations.
Yep,
So,
every time.
yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, they always have that invitation they can put in their scrapbook. It's a real invitation
Right.
to the inauguration, and so. But speaking of him, because I asked some people that are going to ask him to contribute to Wreath Across.
Oh, really? That would be great. Do it.
Why not? Hey, if you don't ask, you don't know. But I want to say, is we're 11:59 tonight is the deadline for the 5-4.
I'm glad I'm going in right now.
I'll tell you
Sounds
guys
a lot
what
of
you can do
people.
for this. Let me just do your math for you. Save yourselves a lot of trouble
Mhm.
since y'all don't really quite get it. And I spent a lot of time and I went to school and I got a calculator and I figured all this out by myself. I even brought my slide rule out to be sure I was right. Normally, you get 2 wreaths for $34. Under normal conditions, they'll throw in an extra. So you get 3 for the price of 2, right? Cool
Right.
deal. Not a problem with that. Buy 2, get 1 free.
Right.
Found a better deal. Chris has got it up through midnight tonight. Well, 11:59
Uh-oh.
tonight. Okay. You buy 2, you get
Jackson.
3 extra. That's 5
Mm-hmm.
for the price of 2. Got it? Now, here's the cool thing.
What's the cool
If you
thing?
do the math and you spend $204 to buy 6 wreaths, and you'll get a total of 5 for each one of those 6 that you buy,
Mhm.
6 pairs that you buy, and therefore you've got 30 wreaths.
Well, I'm getting
You get a
ready-
bunch
I'm
of wreaths
going
out there
in
for $204.
right now, Chris, when we have a few minutes here, and I'm going to bring up the page, and I'll just wait till after the show, and I'm going to purchase my second group. Okay.
Oh, thank you. You know, to the people that have purchased double, and for those who have made large every contribution, I say thank you for.
Yes.
Rayford, you did your math. One, Rayford is correct, and made the very kind donation of $204. Knights of Columbus from the Infinite Prague Parish ended up donating a little $400. That covered 73 wreaths, and I understand that every group, groups could do it, but some individuals like Rayford, Debbie Vickers, I'll mention her.
She's
out
a
of Wilmington.
good
She's done it
person.
twice. Oh my gosh, she's done 2 donations
Mhm.
for $300 something
Wow.
each.
Cool.
And we have a lot of people doing double donations.
Right.
And I thank each and everybody one. And this is not to say one is better than the other.
Mhm.
Anybody that donates is a hero.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
I'll hold my comments about our local businesses.
Well, they're just
Sure,
missing the
another
boat. That's
time.
all.
I'm going to post it in comments
There they are.
again.
They are.
They're missing the opportunity to be heard and they really are missing the opportunity to be heard. What's wrong with you?
Well, and it's,
Thanks to Red Robin, was it yesterday or day before,
yeah,
whatever day
Red
it was?
Robin.
They were
14.
Yeah. Okay. So
Do you know how much they were able to pull out of that?
No,
Not
we
yet.
don't have a number from them yet. We're trying to get confirmation on them, and we appreciate them doing that. Some of the businesses that did it last year, and I understand maybe I was asking too soon after last year, but the reason is Rick, you just said, we're getting more bang for the buck that you're donating. So if you're going to donate $200, $500, whatever, you're going to get more. We're going to get more wreaths for it. And that's going to make sure that with the 7,000 we may need are going to be there. But I'm not done. I'm not.
Oh no, we got other things.
Midnight.
We're going to have some fundraisers. We're going to have some wreath raisers this year, one way or the other, aren't we? Bicycle run
in May. I don't know, Rayford, with your chili, even though you'd win, might not be a bad idea to do a chili cook-off during one of the snowstorms.
No.
Okay.
We are going to get a big one in February, people.
For those listening, I just posted the link in our comments.
Yeah, get on there and do it today.
That's
okay,
right.
In February, I say I can probably, with this cold weather and stuff coming, I can probably run up and down I-40 and pick up plenty of meat for that. Roadkill chili. Here we go.
That is some very good chili, as a matter of fact. Since we're not having the food show we had yesterday, which was interesting, venison is good meat.
It is great meat.
No one has ever had. I don't
Fat
know.
free.
Someone once said it. Someone said horse, but me, I'm on a liquid diet for the next 3 days, so don't mention food.
A liquid. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
got a
Rayford.
procedure?
You're studying a lot, right?
Yeah. Anyway, but this is about wreaths across America, and our total right now, just to give you an idea, 546.
Wow.
Folks, we, our group, the people on Live and Local Real Talk, the people that listen, the people that have answered the emails that we've sent out or the letters. Well, business. I'll still spend the money and go out and I'll revisit all these businesses and say, that letter I dropped off 2 weeks ago, did you get it?
Well, you may have gotten it, but you didn't get it. That's all I can say about that.
Folks, people that are still listening.
This is going on. This is going to be ongoing. But here's what I'm going to look at right now. How many do we have right now total? How many wreaths?
We have 546.
That's 546 more than we had last year at this time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, last year it's September. Well, I can't say that because I don't know.
546 more than we had a year ago today. So, congratulations, sir.
We're close.
Yep.
No congratulations to me. Congratulations to you and Lee, to Kelly, to the people. And it's on my thank you page, and I update it, but usually when results are coming in, because I check it every hour to make sure that people are thanked for this.
You're the orchestra, you're the leader of the orchestra, the band leader.
And thank you for doing that. I was seriously going to do this.
Gotta have you.
Just didn't have the time.
I gotta say, so I now have business cards. I have official thank you notes, a portfolio. Even when Kathy and I bought some T-shirts to make people understand we are legitimate. We are not paid people. We are volunteer coordinators, and that's all we want to do is coordinate to get 7,000 wreaths. That's all.
Well,
and hopefully, and I'll make a point of making sure that friend of ours, Tony Gribble, and his wife will have them.
That's nice.
He was a veteran.
Yeah,
he was an actual Purple Heart veteran. God rest his soul. But right now, we have two tools. Besides the letters that Kathy and I mail out, we only have two tools: Live and Local Real Talk, which is very responsible for us getting response, and Facebook, which is also because it's on your page.
Well,
that's our only tools of media.
I'm going to start.
To get the word out.
I'll start a little bit later on when we got an event or two cooking. When you've got an event or two cooking out there that we'll all be involved in, that I'll start pestering some former type colleagues that in the media.
Yes.
So they need to be here.
Morgan will obviously. put
Oh,
it
she'll
in
take care of that. I have no
right.
doubt about that. But I'm talking about some other folks.
Yeah.
I'm,
Thank you.
Maybe we get together. And I'll go ahead and pen a letter because I used to write for News and Observer too. I used to do reporting for them freelance. So I guess my credentials are still there. We'll see.
Well, you also will see later on, Rayford, some of those termite eating pieces of things they like. Rumor got to me that there's possibility that you and I were correct on some snow. Lee has it on the record book about
she
our
does.
predictions. And rumor had it that you needed something to stoke the fire.
There you go. I do.
So,
See, I
you
was
will.
trying to be
And-
quiet about that.
No, he mentioned it the other day. Yeah, buddy, I'm going to be
Well, we'll get it while it's still warm today before it rains tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much
Thank
again.
you, sir.
To
Have a good
Live
one.
and Local Real Talk to Rayford Lee, and y'all are treasures, very important in my heart and in our Kathy's and my lives. We thank you. We thank the donors, and we still have time. I will pick up the money, and I'll even trust you to say, I owe you, Chris, and I'll put it on my credit card.
Yep. That's
I
good.
will do that.
Very good, sir.
Okay?
Well,
Thank
this
you.
one's going on
Thanks,
my.
y'all.
All right.
Real quick before we
Have a
go to
blessed day.
weather, you too, Chris. Thank you for all you do. Real quick before we go to weather, we have 2 new listeners from Alaska.
Alaska. Y'all get it
So,
really cold up
Good
there.
morning, Jason, and good morning. It was
It's early over there.
Can I apologize? Ken Air Rock Band, something like that.
Ken and a rock band.
It's Kenna I Rock Band. All right. Anyway, I apologize for saying it wrong, but Jason and Kenna are watching from Alaska.
Okay.
And real quick, my sister just texted me.
Mhm.
Her dog is going crazy because she's got the show on the TV and he's hearing my voice.
Oh.
So I have to say, hey, Oliver. Hey,
Yeah.
Oliver.
Oliver. Are you Oliver Twist?
That's why I don't leave my radio on.
There was
at
a guy
home.
that used to sing pretty well. His name was Oliver.
I love that movie. I didn't star. Heck no. I played a part in the high school theater production of Oliver at Jacksonville High School.
Oh, cool.
I was in Oliver. I screamed. I got a part screaming. And then
Screaming?
in Mame, I was a moon girl.
And a what?
A moon girl. You know, we had little dresses on and we
Moonbeam?
sang The Man in the Moon is a Woman.
High pressure will be with us for a short time today. I'm bailing you out of this one. And that will result in better boating conditions for just a little bit. You can expect the return of small craft warnings next week as multiple fronts track across our waters. Yay, you know. Offshore out to 10 nautical miles today. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots. Gusts to 25 knots, becoming northeasterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet. 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon tomorrow. Southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming westerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop again. Sunday, northwesterly winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming westerly 15 to 20, with gusts up to 25 knots in the afternoon. That's called blustery. Seas 3 to 5 feet at least. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon.
Okay, and today's going to be sunny with a high near 53 and calm winds. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 35. Heat wave, huh? Saturday, 80% chance of showers with a high near 56. Saturday night, a chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low of 43. Sunday, showers with a high near 51. Sunday night, a low of 24. And then just for fun, let's go into next week.
No.
Tuesday, Monday, Martin Luther King Day of Observance.
Yes, it is. Holiday time.
That's right. Sunday with a high near 37 with night temperatures dropping down to 15 degrees.
15 degrees.
15 degrees. Tuesday, a chance of snow in the afternoon, partly sunny with a high near 33. Tuesday night, a chance of snow, low of 15. Wednesday, a chance of snow, mostly sunny with a high near 31. It's just a chance, so don't get excited.
Yeah, it's just a chance. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
It's probably going to be the best chance we're going to have here for a while.
I think
Maybe
so too.
one
I
couple
think
weeks or so.
too. For all you that won't snow, you may.
California's
get
got its continuing fire problems. They
Yes.
also had overnight, you ready for this one? They sent out an emergency alert warning system
What?
early today. No, that was last night. Last night. Oh, my.
Oh, no.
The North County Fire Department was responding to a fire at the Moss Landing Power Plant in Central California.
Ooh.
Some areas are under evacuation orders there. The Moss County Sheriff's Office issued emergency evacuation orders due to the fire at the Vistra Power Plant in the areas of Moss Landing, south of the Elkhorn Slough, north of Malero Road. And y'all don't know where it is, but anyway, it's out there in the Monterey area. The severity of the fire, unknown. I don't know how far along they got into battling, but the pictures that were coming from it, pretty horrific. I can tell you that. Looks like a big old blast that went off.
Wow.
And part of highways, what is that? Is that Highway 10 out there? Major highway
I have no clue.
was blocked off. Wow. That's another major mess. And their fires. We know that a bunch of people have been arrested, like 100 so far, in connection with the fires. Don't know that all of them were setting them. Don't know what was going on. There may have been some other issues, but they have arrested a number of individuals who are actually setting fires. What is wrong with people? You see what's going on. 27 people dead. I think that every person they catch setting a fire should be charged with felony murder because somebody died as a result of their involvement.
Well, if they did,
If they died. 27 people are dead.
I would.
No matter whether it's the fire they set or something else, charge them all. Make them suffer.
Of course, our court system.
No, California's court system.
They'll let them ride out.
Yeah, and give them a box of matches.
Yeah, give them a box of chocolate and a box of matches. Here you go. We'll see you when you do back.
The Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal officially signed by negotiators in Doha.
Right, just a little while ago.
I don't know when it
because they were supposed to sign this morning.
Well, it was supposed to be this morning.
Right.
They have agreed to a ceasefire deal that will ensure the release of hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. We're expecting, I think, 6 a day or something like that, hostages to be released over the next week or so. And meanwhile, Israel is supposed to be releasing several hundred prisoners. A lot of folks are saying, well, these prisoners that Israel is releasing, a lot of those are terrorists. We all know that. It's not just innocent civilians there, but there are some terrorists. What's going to happen when they get released? They've been in prison for up to a year and a half or so. What's going to happen when they get back? They're just going to continue doing the same old bad stuff? Well, probably not, because now Israel knows exactly who they are, and they probably got tracking possibilities on them. And once this ceasefire and all is in place and all the hostages are exchanged, then Israel is no longer required to obey any ceasefire. They should.
Right.
What will they do? Will they go after these people as a preemptive strike? I would not blame them if they did. I hope it doesn't have to come to that. These are not prisoners of war. This is not a war. These are acts of terrorism.
Now, when are they going to release the first set of prisoners?
This weekend.
You know what? Keep my fingers crossed this week.
33 hostages over 6 weeks.
Yes.
Hundreds of Palestinians imprisoned by Israel. Call them Palestinians if you want to.
Rayford, is they're talking about releasing the live ones, certain, if they're older than 50 men and whatever. But then they'll start releasing the remains. Yep. What kind of remains do they actually have?
Not much.
I'm sure
that probably. I'm sure they have not kept them under ice or on ice or anything.
Nope. Nope, not in the least. I don't know what's worse.
A labor union representing thousands of Border Patrol agents is all in on South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem as the
Yes.
Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. She's been nominated by the president-elect, and they're calling on senators to confirm her nomination right now.
Well, let me ask you this, Rayford. There are some that have yet to be gone before the committee.
Correct.
Because they have not gotten their background checks completed because the FBI hasn't had time to do it.
Well, I
How
know
long
they're
does it
busy.
take?
Well, it will take a little time because depending upon who they are, it may take a little bit more time than others. If they bump into a situation, now let me just give you, for instance, okay, Joe Jones, back when he was 18 years old, just became an adult, he got stopped, arrested for underage drinking, driving down the highway, arrested for underage drinking, and they found a couple of joints on him.
Okay.
Okay, so does that make him a drug dealer? I mean, some people are going to go that the FBI will be required to jump into his background at that point in time and to do everything they can to make sure he was not more heavily involved than having a couple of joints and drinking a few beers.
Well, there's a big national database where you can pull somebody's record and their past offenses and stuff.
But
what are they going out knocking on doors and asking neighbors too?
That's not just records. Those criminal records, anybody can run no matter just seconds. Okay.
Right.
Those are dealing with criminal convictions generally.
Right.
They're the easy ones to get. The criminal record, those are the ones who have been accused of something, maybe. Then there is also something called a watch list that, police departments
Maybe
have.
on the
Everybody
watch list.
has them. They know that certain individuals.
You are on it.
I'm probably on every list out there. Matter of fact, I got some lists that other people are on.
Yeah, no doubt you're on it.
But anyway, there are, and some people may have been involved. You may, when you're doing a background, even as a federal agent, you may bump into something that you can't get any further on it.
Right.
All right. There were times that, for instance, when we were doing something as simple as running a registration check on a license plate.
Right.
And it says not in file, not available.
And
not
that's
this,
kind of an
not
indication that
it could be something sneaky, Pete.
Right.
You never know.
Reason for that. Yes.
So those are the kinds of things that they could run into, but they're not going to stop at that. They're going to continue looking. And if they do find a sneaky Pete person out there, they may want to know a little bit more about what his work was, what it entailed, and just how involved he was. And why isn't he doing it now? Is there some reason? Did something happen that's really not on the books per se?
Right.
It takes some time to do a thorough background check.
Mm-hmm.
And if you run into just a blind alley, then it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's somebody like Kristi Noem.
Hers should be pretty much open and shut.
I mean, hers was being delayed till next week because they hadn't done the background check yet. I'm not saying there's something going on, but I'm just like, he's going to be president sworn in on the 20th.
And he needs a cabinet.
And he doesn't have everybody because the FBI is saying, well, we just haven't completed them yet. It'll be
Let me ask you a
next
question.
week.
This is something I do not know. As of Monday, without his entire cabinet being approved, his nominees being approved,
Right.
Will the current cabinet stay in place to perform the duties?
I thought about that too.
I do not know.
That's a very good question. And I think
Anybody know?
They will stay until they are relieved. In other words, we have somebody that's going to take your place. And there will be some that will just absolutely resign and leave. So it's a very good question, Rayford. So I don't know. But let me see. When is the Senate going to vote on these nominees? I don't know if they've if they're going to go ahead and start on. Okay, here's right. Two to go. So while Republicans have a majority in the Senate, let me get back to it. All right. Trump's cabinet has been carefully selected. We know that. While Republicans have a majority in the Senate, the vote is narrow. Candidates can only afford to lose up to 3 of the 53 Republican Senate votes. And they talked about Pete's hearing. And after each nominee's confirmation hearing, committees vote on whether or not to recommend the nominee to the full Senate. And it's not just one hearing from what I'm seeing, is they have their main hearing, and then the next hearing, they're bringing in people that have worked with these nominees, and they're asking them questions and stuff. But after each nominee's full confirmation hearing, committees vote on whether or not to recommend this person to the Senate for voting, and then senators debate the pick before a final vote with all 100 senators. So you got me.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out maybe a little bit
I
more
would
over the
ask
weekend.
our congressman, sent him a text the
Yeah,
other
send him a
morning,
note.
and when he went back, he goes, I was in a meeting. I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
I know.
sorry. But he said the Senate is the chamber that does vote on the nominees. It doesn't go to the House and back and forth. The Senate does it.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to probably take our leave of absence a little bit early today. We usually
That's
run over.
fine.
So why don't we just take it a little bit and see if I
Okay.
can get some gas in the heating system out there.
Yes, and let's keep everyone, please take the opportunity this weekend to do what you need to do to make
Stay
sure
warm.
your house
And
is
your
ready
pets
for the cold and your pets.
And any plants you've got outside are probably toast already unless you've taken precautions.
Yes.
If you've got some that you need to move inside, this will be the weekend to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I
And
agree.
If they've made it this far, you will need to do it.
So you have a lot of rain coming in this week, and be safe on the roads,
Be good.
please.
Be safe out there. Anything that falls on the ground this weekend is going to freeze, and you're going to have
That's right.
thing called black ice, and it's going to be slippery and sliding.
And
bridges freeze over earlier
and overpasses.
and overpasses.
And think about it. If we were to get snow next week, the temperatures are going to stay so low.
Yeah.
The snow is not going to go away right away.
Yes, it is. I'm going to get a blowtorch out.
No, I'm not going to say
Okay, we'll see you on Monday morning. Who do we have? Anybody?
Not confirmed yet, but we are going to have an interesting week next week. So stay tuned.
We need to get that young lady that I mentioned yesterday.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she can.
Things are
explain to us-
happening now. We need to get her.
Explain about how to cover your plants and stuff.
Yeah, you're live and local. Real talk. We're always awake and we're never woke. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And if anything breaking news-wise, I'll be posting on
page.
Facebook.
Mhm.
See you. Bye.